What's up, people? We back with a bonus episode here. It's the first edition of what we call in Spare Change, and I got a special guest with me, but I'm not going to disclose who that is just yet. Let's drop the intro first. My two sons, Cisco.
I'm good, I just be up in my thoughts, saying, yeah. Don't feel sorry for me. No pity parties for me. New pins, new Barbies for me. For the list of my regrets, no more sorries for me.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about my guest today. You know, we gonna do a little bonus episode. We ain't talking about nothing. It's probably the biggest fan of the podcast. It's MaDukes. I got my mama here with me.
Hello.
I got Marilyn, aka Moms, aka MaDukes, aka Meryl. What's up, Ma?
What's up? What's up,
My
Cameron?
mama is here, man. My mama
I'm in
is
the
here.
house.
This is here, man. We got the sound effects. Mommy's here. So did I ever call you mommy? Was there ever a time I
thank
called
God
you
you
mommy?
didn't, no.
Because I was saying on our last on the episode that we did for Mother's Day, I was actually saying I don't ever remember calling you mommy, and I feel like mommy is something kids should grow out of. Like I don't I feel like it I don't know, I just feel some type of way about mommy, especially when Aiden calls Ashley mommy. It bothers me so much because I mean you old enough now that mommy should transition into mom,
Mother,
or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something. But Ashley's like, no, that's my baby. And
That's the thing about being called mommy, that you never want to grow out of it. Because
Yeah.
they always wanted to be my babies.
Yeah, I was just like, no, that's mama, that's my mama. That's you don't want to be that kid. That's my mommy, and getting teased at school because you told me that's your mommy. So, but no, I'm really glad to have you in here. Mother's Day weekend, obviously. So you're able to be in town. Definitely being able to spend Mother's Day with you is always a pleasure.
Thank
So
you.
I just kind of wanted to have you in here. Obviously I'm your favorite son. We've addressed that, and I just want to make sure that's clear. So to Marcus, to Chad, here it is. So that I'm the favorite son.
From the baby boy's mouth.
Exactly. And notice I was not corrected. She did not correct me. So just kind of tell me, Ma. I think I know, but from your perspective, what was I like as a kid, kind of growing up? What was I like?
Cameron, to be honest with you have changed much.
Oh, okay. All right.
You still have that same spirit.
Okay.
You were very loving. You wanted your way.
Yeah.
You wanted your way.
Uh-huh.
But you were... You like to try the waters a
Okay.
lot. You had
Uh-huh.
to try the waters a lot. We went through many episodes of you testing the waters, I would say.
I remember.
But you always had a good reason. I used to sit back and think that, why do you do that? But as I look back on it, you always had a good reason for wanting to test the waters.
You know what's funny about that is that now being in a situation, in a space like with Aiden, right? And for all intents and purposes, Aiden does a lot of dumb shit, Ma. For y'all who don't know, don't be punks. Cuss in front of your parents. They know you cuss out elsewhere, so don't be trying to hide the fact that you curse.
Wait till you get grown.
Listen. And let me tell you how it happened for me. One day I just slipped that in, and I said something. I was just like, "Oh, no reaction. Bet. Say less." So it's just been.
There was a reaction. You just,
but you understand that I mean, obviously I'm grown and I speak a certain way, and it's not. I'll never curse you out or cursed at you. You know what I'm saying? I may say a curse word in your presence, but I don't feel like that's disrespectful.
I hadn't felt it to be disrespectful.
So you see, I mean, the people don't understand.
When it does, Mama gonna tell you.
Might even slap me in my mouth. I only got a couple of them when I was little, but no, it's been in space. Aiden does a lot of dumb shit sometimes, and I'm little like, okay, what were you thinking when this happened? And he has no explanation. He's just like, I don't know, which upsets. If you know, and if you had a valid reason for like what your thought process is, like, okay, that makes sense what you was thinking, but now let me correct and redirect. When you just like, I don't know, I just did it, and it's like, I don't know what to do with that. You know what I mean? So I definitely think I agree with you there. Because I always, when we have debates and stuff with people, and I was like, man, my perspective comes from a certain place, and so I can tell you why I did what I did, what I was thinking when it happened, and even though it may be a mistake of what I did, or it may not have worked out, or whatever the case may be, I had damn good reason for why I did it, And so it's interesting to hear you say I was like that as a kid too. So.
And you still like that, like I say, you'll do things, but and you gonna he would have it thought out,
Yeah.
That's why I did that, but it may not make sense to anybody else.
Only difference is now I don't get my ass whooped
No.
for it.
You pay other ways. You pay other ways.
Yeah, I used to get plenty of them whoopings back in the day. I think I earned maybe 25%. The other 75%, y'all was just handing them out. I think.
Mama was handing them out.
You know the fondest whooping I got from you that I remember. And listen, so kids know. Okay, here's a message for all mothers out there. Your whoopings don't hurt. They don't hurt. And I just want to. If your kid says they hurt, they lying, because your whoopings don't hurt. So I'm just letting mama, your whoopings never hurt. Okay, so listen, my mama would whoop me, right? And I knew that if I shed a tear and I started to shake my leg, the whooping was over. I knew this. They had it down to a sign. And she would get one of her own belts, one of them flimsy ass belts. Them shits ain't hurt at all, right? So she's whooping me one day, and I hit the little shake of the leg, and she would always, she would insinuate that meaning, she would infer that meaning I had to use the bathroom. So she would yell, "Go use the bathroom." So I get out the room, and I like whooping over. I go in the bathroom. I'm good. Well, this particular day, I remember it vividly. I had on this Penny Hardaway shirt, and it wasn't a jersey, it was just a Penny Hardaway shirt, because that was my guy back in the day. Penny Hardaway was my guy. So I had on this Penny Hardaway shirt. I don't know what I did, but we were over on Paul Street, and in y'all's room, and I got a whooping about something. So I hit my patent, hit my little tear, shook my little leg. You said go use the bathroom. I was like, bet, whooping over. Then I come out the bathroom, and you commenced to whooping my ass again. And I was like, I wasn't ready. I was not ready. So, that was one of the fondest things. And then there was that time when I was 10, and I said something to you, and you jacked me up against the wall in the hallway, and I ain't never tried you since. I ain't scared of many people, but I was scared as hell that day. But yeah, so I think I just told you my fondest memory of you as far as the ass whooping goes. So what would you say would be one thing that you remember, a moment in time that you remember? I could think of one that I'm pretty sure you may or may not say.
No,
that may be something Daddy would say.
I've tried to forget about most of those times, whatever. But and it was so many times, like say you tested the waters. It was just like, if you asked you to do something, then you were gonna try something. You were gonna try. So I don't know about a funnest memory, of I can't pick out just one time when you were sharing those spirits with us, with me. But let me just try one. I keep going back to the school days.
Okay.
When you kept coming home telling us, about the situation happening at school.
Hey, yeah, listen to this. I'm telling you, I was innocent. I didn't do shit.
And we had a philosophy at our house, like teachers are not necessarily right, but if they tell you to do something, you have to do it and whatever.
Yeah, listen to this.
And you follow the rules at school.
Yeah.
And so Cameron had been, this was during a time where there was a lot. It wasn't integration time, but it was a lot of.
So y'all know I have said I grew up in Lufkin, racist ass country ass Lufkin.
Yeah.
And so my mama is a former, how many years you do? 37? 42 years in LISD school district. So she's not going to say it how I'm going to say it. But yeah, it's a lot of BS going on in that regard. And I just happen to be a smart black kid in the gifted and talented and smart kids class, and this lady was not used to dealing with smart, outspoken black individuals.
Well, it's only like 3 of you in the classroom anyway. But I remember Cameron kept coming home telling me, "Mom, That's unfair. Cameron was big about things being fair.
Yep.
I mean, they had to be fair, whether in his eyes. They had to be fair. He wanted them to be fair, and even if they were fair, in his eyes, they had to be fair.
Right.
In other words, so he kept coming home telling me and his dad that teacher was being unfair, that they was letting other kids of different color do some things that it wouldn't let him do, because only 2 or 3 of them in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
And Cameron would sit back and watch. He would do this at home. He would sit back and just watch. I think he would plan it. Something would happen. He want to see if you did it the same way with somebody else.
Right. True.
Then he say, then he'll call you on it. So this was what's happening in the classroom with this particular teacher. These kids were a prominent. They were big in society. With the parents were, but money wise,
they had money.
They had money.
They came from
and
money.
they were from the permanent side of the community as well.
To no fault of them, because they
were
still
good
2
kids.
of my guys.
And they were good kids.
Yeah.
Right, they were good kids. But the teacher, of course, was trying to be favored with the parents, getting good with the parents. So, of course, their kids were going to be favorites. Mm-hmm. So Cameron kept watching them. Every time he go to do something, then the teacher would tell him to sit down. This particular time, I remember, he had been telling me this for maybe months now, and I kept telling him, Cameron, you just do what you need to do, and whatever. And talk to the teacher. Oh no, it's not them. It's Cameron. Jordan. She called him Jordan.
Because there was. I had 2 other of my partners in class named Cameron. None of us went by Cameron.
So she called him Jordan. So Jordan was there. So anyway, make a long story short, she calls him to the school. We're going to put Jordan in stop. Oh, no,
ISS,
you're not.
That was the
oh,
ISS,
no, you're not.
yeah.
What did you do? What did you go? What did he do? So she told him, I said, well, I tell you what, we come to school. We're going to talk to you and the principal, get to the bottom line. So at that point, I had made up my mind. Cameron can defend himself. So I wanted him to tell this lady everything he had been telling me, to see to see her expression. And the minute Cameron looked at her and said to her, you are not fair. And when they do this, when you tell me to do this, I do it. When you tell them to do it, they don't, and you don't say anything about it. And that's been going on and on and on and on. And this lady, to this day, remembers that conversation that Cameron had with her. And I think it's changed her perspective of how she dealt with, because kids remember and they see things. It wasn't just about us being parents. Because I think what she thought, Cameron, because your daddy was on the school board at the time and I was a teacher, we're just going to let it pass. Yeah. So, again, it comes back to Cameron wanting things to be fair. He didn't really care about going to the board and writing his name down. It was about you being fair to me.
Yeah, you just treated me some type of way, and I ain't did nothing.
Exactly.
And then, the moment, the final straw for me, I will remember we were going to get our backpacks on the wall, and one of the guys, pushed me out the way, kind of, what I'm saying, to get his bag. It wasn't really like a main push, but I just kind of did him the same way, well, watch out, bro, let me get my bag. And then she comes, snatch me up, sit down and start yelling at me. I was like, hold up, lady. Yeah.
Pre-judgment.
I ain't did nothing. That wasn't on me. You didn't see him, or whatever the case may be. And then I was done from there. I vividly remember that because I wasn't gonna get my Nintendo 64 for Christmas. And, my parents, y'all, are notorious for putting presents inside of other boxes. So when you open this on Christmas, you have no idea what the hell you getting. So this
you have to surprise Cameron because Cameron would find them. You have to surprise him.
Because I was thinking be opening up presents. Mm-hmm. I get the little corner so I can see what it is. But this particular Christmas, the Nintendo 64, I opened it up and it was a VCR. And I was like, oh, I got a VCR. And then inside the VCR box was my Nintendo 64. So yeah, I definitely
That's
remember that.
That's the Kegler household, y'all. It was
full. It was crazy. So but yeah. So kind of tell me. Actually, I don't even want to ask you that because that's something I'll ask you and Pop both. But kind of just real quick, how would you describe yourself as a mother?
Ooh, I would say all in, very loving, patient.
Uh-huh.
I think those are my two.
Let me tell you why I asked you this question. I asked you this question because
it's hard to toot your own horn.
Yeah, you are not one. You have never been one who's going to toot your own horn. And
no.
I said, when we actually did our mom episode, I actually said, a lot of mothers, are the offensive linemen of the team. Like you do all the dirty work, you do all the behind the scenes work. You cannot win without an offensive line. The whole team can't win. The whole office can't operate without the offensive line, so that's the way the family is with mom, but you don't get none of the credit. Like, you don't show up in the stat sheet, you know what I mean? You're kind of like, you just kind of do all the work with no credit, and nobody ever mentions and makes mentions of what.
What's it like
done.
being here today? That's a credit to me. Because, I gave birth to you.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of things I hear you say on this great podcast that you have, I think it's coming from something that I've done. Along with your dad, but of course something that I've done. I'm still in, so I get credits.
What's funny? What's funny is that that particular teacher that we were talking about. She said way back then, she said, Jordan, you're going to be a lawyer, a preacher. She said something that requires you to do a lot of talking, and I find that funny that I got a podcast, so I find that real funny. But no, I think I'm kind of cool to have you on here, and we just kind of talk and shoot it a little bit, and kind of now
I don't want to give away any of your secrets,
Now go ahead and tell me here's the last question. It's the real. Why don't you tell the people why I'm your favorite son?
Because what you just said. Because you tell me you're my favorite son.
See, I'm not dealing with you. See what
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Cameron is he's gonna be the fun, the life of the party. He's gonna I tell anybody. As a matter of fact, I've told his girlfriend recent. He has one of the biggest hearts that I know.
Okay.
I mean, he's my heart guy.
You had me worried there for a minute. I didn't know what you told him.
Mama gonna be real with it. He has a big heart. All my kids are loving and but Cameron has a super big heart. He's carrying it into the end. But he's also like his mom. That when he's done.
Oh yeah, I ain't fooling with you after that.
He's
done.
That's true. But that's the biggest thing. You're a baby boy. You are such a great guy.
Yeah. So I think the funny thing about it is, I think one credit to you being a good mom. I think all of us have felt like the favorite at one time or another. And I think all of us are the favorite in in different spaces. And that's kind of the the great part about
It's one of the things my mama taught me.
And so I was actually
make you all think you're
no, but I was actually talking about I kind of was talking about how one thing that you taught us all, I think that I credit you definitely for teaching us is essentially definitely making sure that we knew how to treat a woman, right? And that kind of came from like showing starting to make us open doors for you, like, hey, this is how you're supposed to interact in certain things. And I think one thing I
didn't know you remembered that.
Yeah, so I mean, I definitely talk about with a lot of people. I talk about how my family dynamic growing up. I had two parents in the household, obviously. You and Dad. Matter of fact, next month make 37 years of marriage, right? 38. Yeah. 38 years. I'm tripping. I'm a little left off a year, but 38 years of marriage, and so it's like, I think a lot of things that we actually learned. We came from seeing our dad, and at one point. But also like the things that you had kind of taught us too. And so no matter what was going on from my perspective, that when it comes to the kind of the point guard of the family, that's what you played in college. So, that's what I played too, coming up. So as the point guard of the family, you really facilitated a lot of the things, that went on, in our family. But at the same time, you never let us believe that Pop wasn't the head of the family. You know what I mean? It wasn't and we, so us coming up, we knew because he taught us a lot of what a man is, and having integrity, being a man of your word, when you shake somebody's hand, you stand up. Always look a man in his eye. Don't walk around with your hands in your pockets. How about this one? Put your church socks on before you put on your pants. That was a real big one. So I mean, just kind of things like that we kind of taught, and then you guys,
young folks are missing it today.
Yeah,
too.
You guys really collectively kind of parented us in a way that's kind of like that. So it was really, for me, like I said, really seeing that it wasn't until I got to college that I said, it wasn't until I got to college that I really appreciated you. Because up until then, it was we were
it was that spirit of Cam.
I'm saying, but at the same time, we were kind of, you were blinded to the fact of certain things. You know what I'm saying? And then as we got older, and you move out of the house, you kind of start trying to kind of see more and things of that sort. But no, I definitely want to say you guys did a great job with all of us. And I know I talk a lot of times about things that may have been that you may have done wrong and how I felt about them or whatever case may be. But I think it's important to point out all parents make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? All there's no
book on
there's
parenting.
no book on it. Every kid is going to be different, and you only parent based off of your experiences and how you were taught, and the experiences that you kind of gained from that. So
one of the things my mother taught me is that she had 7 kids. And she had a special relationship with each one of them, and you wondered, like, how did she know this? So one of the things she taught me, and which taught all of us, but that I took away was that you make each one of them think that they're the special one. You have a special connection with each one of them. What everybody needs something different. You needed something different than Chad and Marcus. All y'all needed something different. And so a part of being a parent is that you have to tune into that. And know that you're not going to be alike, that you have a lot of things in common because you grew up the same, so the same environment. But then you're so different that, you can't parent them the same way because you saw things totally different.
Right.
There's an age group difference in y'all, so you saw things totally different when you came up. And so we had to parent a little bit differently. It was hard to learn that, having parented the older one. But you had to finally learn that, Cameron is he's in a different generation. You can't parent him like you did Chad. Couldn't parent Chad like you did Marcus. And so Mother taught us you give each child what they need. And every child needs something different at a time. And that's what you give them that make that special.
Right. And I think that's not something that most people, learn. Like a lot of people are really cut, this is the way I am. And, and so I think that really took, that was something that kind of caught me off guard, when we kind of moved into the space with Aiden especially, because all I see Aiden is a lot like me. Like, he's an Aries just like me. He's, a lot of the same things, I see me as a kid, in him. But Aiden grew up completely different, so he's really sensitive. I wasn't sensitive at all. To this day, there's nothing you can do to hurt my feelings. Like,
yeah,
your opinion of me matters far less because I know
that was one of the things about
myself.
you. You so easy to get over stuff. You know, you're not going to hold a grudge.
I don't, and it's funny because I say that all the time. Even like we can have an argument. I think that's one thing in relationship that has always been a big deal because I can have an argument in a relationship and then I'll walk into the room, walk outside, walk somewhere, and I come back 5 minutes later and I'm over it. Like I don't have time to continue to harp on that. And so, but women hold grudges. So like hardcore grudges. So, but that's a whole nother conversation. But no, I think
people do.
Yeah, But I think I definitely am appreciative of you guys and you, and particularly to being able to have you on here for Mother's Day and celebrate Mother's Day every year. Able to celebrate Mother's Day is always awesome. So I say I don't know about other people and the experience you had with your mama, but my mama was awesome. Is awesome.
Thank you, Cam. Awesome. Appreciate it. And that's a great Mother's Day gift right there.
And I don't care what you think about your mama. She ain't the best mama out there. That title belongs to Merle or MaDukes. I'm going to start calling you Ma.
It's all right. We call my mama
Ma. That's what you call. That's called. But no, I definitely I'm gonna ask you this real quick because I asked you've kind of touched on a little bit when you talk about your mom and things of that sort. But what would you say about what would you say the qualities that each of us took from you? Like, what is something that you see in us that is most
I clearly
like
think you have my heart.
Okay.
The giving part. You're a giver. You rather give than take.
Okay.
I think Chad has the sincerity part. He analyzing things. And Marcus is kind of a mixture between, because I didn't have Marcus till he was like 12 or 13. So a lot of that early stuff he didn't get from me. So,
right.
But that's what I think y'all got from me.
I can see that. I think it's funny now that we're all older, and like as we kind of interact, you see how much alike all of us are, and it's like as when the age difference was so. Oh, not their age difference, but when you were in different spaces in life, you kind of weren't able to see that. But now we're able to kind of see it, and you like put it all together. We're a lot of like all of us, and so it's pretty cool. But no, you got anything you want to add to the people like before we make our exit?
Just continue to love each other. Mothers. It doesn't matter what your kids are going through or what kind of kids they grew up to be. You were their mother, so that's part of your responsibility too. So continue to love them.
And see, I always gotta leave with the word. Mama be dropping that science, but since we talking about science, dropping science, you got to add a song or two to the playlist real quick. So I mean, kind of what a song or two that you can.
Well, this I'm gonna drop two. Okay. One is because you wouldn't be here if this song didn't come to our mind and keep us going. It was like it was a reason for my matrimony, which was the reason why you came through. Wow. And it's always and forever, and I still believe in it today. Love always and forever. Don't throw up. Don't throw up. It's always and forever. You're my love, always and forever.
So that's your song.
That's my song. And the other one I want to leave out. Can't leave out without giving Almighty God grace and and praise. So it's God's grace.
Okay, God's grace and always and forever by Heat Wave.
Yeah.
All right, we'll definitely do that. But no, we gonna wrap up this bonus episode, Spare Change. Just kind of give y'all a little something, nothing major, just kind of off the record.
Just want too much change.
We want to talk to my mama for a second, but we'll be back, man. We gonna have to start dropping these Spare Change a little more often.
Because he's always giving me his 2 cents.
I always give it. I ain't this that. But no, that's cool. Tell the folks bye, mama.
Bye.
All right, we out, man.
That's harder than I think it is.